Hi everyone. We are halfway. We've done half of the course and we're moving into week 5. And I feel good about where everybody is. I am working on grading your papers from this week and I'll be working on your discussions over the next few days. I try to always have things graded by the weekend, if not by the weekend, by Saturday. So you can look for those scores. This week, you will have your last writing assignment before you do your final paper or you submit your final paper. So this is the written assignment due on June 23rd, and that is writing assignment 4. And the only other writing assignment you'll have is the final paper. So if you haven't started on that, please do. It will help you a lot to go ahead and get a head start on your research and organizing your paper. Take a look at the instructions. If you have any questions, just let me know and we can work through that. If you are doing a smaller company and are interviewing somebody that you know, for instance, it's maybe a shop that that's in your family or that a friend of yours owns, make sure that you document those interviews as personal interviews in APA format so that you can use it in your paper and cite it and then have a reference for it too at the end. This week, the discussion will be on analytics. The readings will be on social CRM. What is the value of social media in terms of CRM? How do you keep it relevant when you do use social media? And can you create a, quote, virtual community through social media that allows you to create those personal relationships? Some of you mentioned, either I can't remember if it was in your papers or on the discussion board, but in terms of fulfilling that need to have that personal interaction with a business. So that will be what your readings are about. And I just wanted to discuss a little bit about the analytics. So I want you to think about analytics, where we are today, how fast technology is moving, where we were 5, 10, 15 years ago, where you think we'll be 5, 10, 15 years from now. The ability to use artificial intelligence, immersive realities, and the type of pressure that puts on marketers to keep up with the expectation of the capabilities that are there and how we can fulfill that need for our customers. So just collecting data is not enough. We have to be able to collect it in real time and make ourselves efficient in analyzing and implementing the the findings. So one of the things that I was reading and trying to find something that might make it more meaningful to you all is an article that said only 37% of organizations feel they're actually using advanced analytics to create value. So if only 37% of the people who have the analytic systems, and I mean, that's not even including the companies that don't implement analytic systems, only 37% of those actually think that they're using it in an effective way. So it's not enough just to have analytics. You've got to be able to translate that into meaningful actions within your company. The centers generate plenty of data, but the companies don't have a systematic way for aggregating that information and then putting it into manageable or digestible summaries that either the leadership or even the centralized employees can use and create more value for the customers. So we have to be able to link those analytical insights to action. So it's not enough just to contain data in a big data box. You've got to be able to translate that. I think I had one other thing I wanted to share with you was a case study done by McKinsey. And they did a case study on a financial services firm that was experiencing a high number of repeat calls. And when I say high number of repeat calls, for every 100 customer issues, they received more than 160 calls. So they received more calls than they had issues by over 1.5 times. And it used analytics to look at the 3 specific factors that were customers, agents, and the processes. Among customers, the firm identified people who would call frequently for minor things such as status updates on an unresolved issue, those who would call repeatedly if they were not happy with their initial outcome, and then if some customers didn't receive a credit from one agent, for example, they might call back and just see if they could get somebody else who might be able to give that to them, just saying, hey, look, I didn't talk to the right person. I need to get somebody else. I might have a better outcome. So the company ran analytics on the call center, and what they did was they analyzed the agents that were able to have higher resolution rates with less time, and what it was that they were able to do to generate resolutions without as many calls and or time spent on those issues. So those who had the low resolution rate were spending too much time on the minor things, and they were given guidance from the top performers based on the analytics from the call center. So they were able to reduce immediately, just in that short amount of training, 15% of the amount of calls they received. So it doesn't change it from, it doesn't make, the process stop, but you can be more efficient and more effective. And when you do that, you're not only having higher output from the internal processes, but your customers are also happy because their issues are being resolved in less time with better outcomes. So that's just an example of how data analytics can help in a call center, but you can come up with lots of ways that data analytics can help. And in the discussion this week, you'll talk about what you think the future of data analytics will look like. So if you have questions, as always, just send me an email and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Like I said, work on your writing assignment for this week and go ahead and get started on the research for your final paper, because it will be in lieu of a final exam. So I don't want you to get caught at the last minute if you can help it. So anyhow, have a great week 5, and I'll see you all on the discussion board.